a wasted space. You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe a reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart.
大家好，欢迎大家收看今天的 MCTV， 我是一红班的唐慧兰。先让我来为大家报告一下今天的天气。今天大致天晴及炎热，吹南风3至4级，最高气温33度，最低27度，相对湿度为65%到90%。预料未来几天天晴炎热，最高气温33度，最低27度。下面让我来跟大家分析一下这几天的重要新闻吧。政府建议矿建堆填区计划首度注胶，立法会环境事务委员会前2天否决环境局矿建将军澳堆填区的建议。议员批评政府未有充分咨询，强行向立法会推销矿建堆填区的方案是极不成熟的决定，所以促请政府撤回方案。环境局局长黄锦星承认当局处于两难局面，但强调已释出最大的诚意解决掉将军澳堆填区臭味问题，又指出10年减废4成的蓝图确实很难实现。今天的天气及新闻报道完毕，请大家继续收看本集的 MCTV。
喂，直播開始咯，你仲飲檸檬茶？
咦係喎 ，Good morning， I'm Vincent Out 唔係。
喂，你做咩讀咗我份稿嘅？喂，交換翻先。唉，有乜解救你今日咁神不守舍啊？
唉，呢幾日又要度呢份稿啦，又要剪片，咁晚晚剪到凌晨1、2點咁喎，今朝又要7點翻落學校，咁啊5點幾起咗身。瞓咗幾粒鐘咁就唔夠精神。
你剪咩片咁巴閉先？
咁咪就係我哋之前去嗰個美國交流團咯。
咁我哋應該轉翻做 English mode 啦，嗬
？Good morning, I'm Epi4 from 5G.
I'm Vincent from 5B.
We joined the leadership training program to the USA and stayed there from the 7th to the 15th of February. I think it was a memorable trip for all of us.
Couldn't agree more. This week in San Francisco and Los Angeles was gorgeous.
Do you remember the places that we have visited?
Well, I just remember a bit of them.
So, let me play a video to recall your memory.
We left Hong Kong in the afternoon of the 7th of February. The photo marks the beginning of our program.
our hours of flight, we arrived at the San Francisco airport in the morning of the same date.
Immediately, we went to the court in San Francisco. There, we spent time in both the Superior Court and the Traffic Court. What have you learned there, Eric?
Well, I think I understand more about the local judiciary system. After paying a visit to the court, we visited the Chinese Christian Herald Crusades and also the Bread of Life Bakery, which were run by alumni.
There, Mr. Lam told us lots of things about the local Chinese in the community. For example, the needs of the local Chinese there, and the reason why they began the Bread of Life Bakery, which aims to help the local Chinese there.
做麵包咧，第一步咧就係啲麵粉咧先要打麵粉先，搓麵粉先。呢個叫分包機啊，嗰個叫做搓粉機。
你哋啱啱參觀咗呢個生命麵包店啦，咁你哋有啲咩感受呢？
哇！我覺得呢個生命麵包店咧十分之規模好龐大啦，
而我覺得呢個生命麵包店咧就好有生命力啦。
The following morning, we went to Stanford University and Foothill College. The moment we arrived there, my mouth dropped open.
Why?
The campuses of both Stanford and Foothill were spacious.
I got the same feelings as yours. After talking with the professors there, I knew more about the school life of local teens and the education system of the US.
Then, we got to the Google campus of San Francisco. I found that the development of America's networking technology was simply amazing. That night, we paid a visit to the Lost Grace Christian Church. We interacted with the teens there and had a time for worship.
What's this cabbage leaf in your hand?
It's marijuana.
next day, early in the morning, we visited the City Hall of San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. Both of them are famous attractions for tourists.
However, we didn't only take photos there.
We also got to know about the city and development of the transport system and the architectures of the city. Then, we went to the Chinese Historical Society of America and the Cable Car Museum. And later, we had dinner with some alumni.
To me, I think that the fourth day of the program was the most remarkable one for me. Do you remember what we did that morning?
City hunts in the Fisherman's Wharf.
Exactly. That day in the morning, we arrived at the Union Square and then split into two groups of 10 people. We were required to plan our own routes to the Fisherman's Wharf and gather at the assigned assembly points. In the course of it, all group members took turns to lead the whole group. We planned the route beforehand in order to get more familiar with the spots. Successfully, we all arrived on time at the assembly point at last. What have you learned there, Vincent?
Actually, I think we could gain lots of leadership skills from the city hunt. For example, we have to do enough preparation beforehand. Another thing is that we have to control ourselves. You know, the food there looked so delicious. I really want to have a try. But as one leading the team, I shouldn't pamper myself leaving my mates behind. That's irresponsible.
You're right. After the morning in the Fisherman's Wharf, we visited the Chinese United Methodist Church in Chinatown.
The pastor there explained the running of the church for us. I was so surprised the place was so big. The aim of Chinese United Methodist Church is to have the Chinese in the community. I'm quite sure the church does benefit the local Chinese because the services that the church provides are really comprehensive.
Exactly. Thanks to the churchman's hard work and endless contribution to the community, the livelihood of local Chinese keeps improving.
On the fifth day of the program, we spent enjoyable moments with the elderly.
We visited an old age home, the Golden Heritage Living, which is mainly for Chinese immigrants. As it was still Chinese New Year time, we sang some Chinese traditional songs to celebrate it with them. Although sometimes we did not get very clearly what they mean, they were still very nice to us and eagerly told us their stories.
Visiting the Golden Heritage Living, I learned that as a leader, it's not only about assigning work to others, but also caring about what they need, appreciate their contribution to the whole society, and respect their needs now.
After having great times with the elderly, we got on our coach again and departed for Los Angeles. And we eventually arrived LA in the evening. After long hours of traveling from San Francisco to LA, we were all extremely tired.
The next day, the sixth day of the program, we visited a world-known university, which is UCLA, another splendid campus. The building was just fascinating.
I totally agree. After taking thousands of photos around the campus, we went through the downtown of LA.
Pretending Oscar stars, buying souvenirs and taking photos. I truly enjoyed the time there indeed.
Same here. Anyway, that was a great day spent in LA.
On the last day of the program, it was time for fun in the Universal Studios.
We all went on rides and enjoyed different shows inside the Universal Studios that we enjoyed ourselves so much that we didn't want to leave.
Yes. After that, we went to the airport and had our last dinner in the USA, and we went back to Hong Kong afterwards.
Review of the schedule of our trip.
It was really a memorable trip for all of us. After this trip, I think all of us have gained precious experience and skills for being a good leader.
Definitely. The 20 of us was not too close at the beginning. But after this trip, we became very good friends. Although some of us felt sick during the trip, we still enjoyed the trip.
不知不覺考試咗幾日就到啦。
大家記得要把握最後嘅時間做好準備啊！
當然，我哋美國交流團最偉大嘅、
最厲害嘅、
最有貢獻嘅
李慧詩老師
喺好多年前，大約係08年左右啦，
已經為大家拍咗一段勉勵嘅説話。
不如等我哋重溫一下啦。
Exams coming very soon. You'd better prepare yourself. Pay attention, plan your time. Revise every day, spell or vocabulary. Be a nice student. Never give up. Recite by heart. Get a good result. Work hard. Add oil.
聽完 Miss Lee 嘅一番肺腑之言，
同學們記得要
加油！
努力、
加油！
努力、
努力！
加油！
今朝好感謝大家8點15分準時收睇。由於 MCTV 某啲系統年事已高，出現技術上嘅故障，基於節目長度所限，好遺憾地，我哋美國團嘅花絮片喺 MCTV 播唔到。有興趣睇嘅同學，得閒嗰陣可以睇翻 Facebook， 不過記得溫好書先睇啊！最後就係、今集已經係 MCTV 嘅最後一集啦，大家我哋出年再見啦，拜拜。